Welcome everybody to HSHL Season 9 Awards. It is your favorite and most likely the only interested in hosting this shit, Sportman. And today I'm joined by Onser.
Hello, guys.
And we also have Bully, who randomly appeared to say some random stuff in between. So,
Gemma, hello.
without further ado, we've got, I believe, 11 categories, maybe 12. I've got it somewhere written. 12 to show off to you. And we're gonna start off with the basics, following the stats, so everything that's been known or at least available for the community. And then we'll move on straight to the voting. We'll try to not keep you on for long. Hopefully, we'll make it within less than an hour. I believe last season I've made it in about 45 minutes, but we've had a bit less categories. So I think we can start off with the first award for the most minutes played, the most playtime in Season 9, which should be displayed on the stream right now. We've got three players. T Santander with 229 minutes, Ari with 237 minutes, and someone do the maths, 37,100 of minute, because it's divided into that system, not into seconds. And then Vexas, also known as Tvoya, who I think has played every single minute possible for Cheyenne and ended up with 245 minutes, which I think might be the most of all time. Let me actually quickly turn on the all-time stats. And I don't think there's any surprises in that. There's two goalkeepers from finalists, and then there's the arguably most important player in one of the finalists.
Yeah, they played most games, reaching the final, which is a simple math here.
Actually, now that I've checked, it's actually nowhere near Rizla from previous season. Rizla has had 319 minutes, but now that I think about it, Tvoya would have had 30 minutes more because two of the games did not have any stats included, but he would still be behind previous season winner Rizla. So congrats to Tvoya for his first award. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to get any more of those. But we can swiftly move on to the next award, which was most clean periods. We don't have the safe stats anymore because Pavel Reef, that's pretty sad. But we can again see Tvoya and Santander dominating that list. Tvoya with 38 clean periods, Santander with 36 just behind him. And then we've got Smoczek as well, making it into the third place with 32 clean periods. And that is really impressive result based on the fact Smoczek got eliminated in quarterfinals. So that goes to show how much of an important player he was to KKK Academy. And do you think Smoczek would be the most improved player this season, Answer?
I'm not sure if improved because he played only one game before this season. I'm not sure. But yeah, his stats are impressive. He has only 6 clean periods, less than Tvoya, who played 2 rounds more than him. So it's even more impressive.
Congratulations to Smoczek for making it for the first time into the awards, and we'll see if he'll be on any of the lists further. But I'm pretty sure he will not be included in the next one, which is top assists. Who's had the most assists in Season 9? Let's find out right now. And as you can see on the board right now, the top players with the assists, we can see 4 names because it's actually been a draw for the first spot. But starting from the bottom, we've got Pleszka, KS Żabka player. I believe Żabka got eliminated in round of 16, so it's really impressive result from Żabka CDM, who reached 6 assists. And then right above him, we've got Evra with 7, who played for Royal, and they've been eliminated in quarterfinal. And tied for first place, we've got Sara and Schlieri, who have had together 8 assists. I don't really know why is it counted like that. Like I would always say Schlier and Sarah were first and Evra was third. But like this is not up to me, and maybe there's just a mistake in graphics. I'm pretty sure that's the way it's not counted in any other competition when it's tied. But like if they wanted to split the first two, they could have checked the amount of time played. So whoever had the least time played, he would be above. But like this is official results. Maybe they will be changed like season 7 Golden Boy after a season, who knows? But for now we'll have to stick to this.
Based on the document, Schlier is the first because he played less minutes than Sarah. So he has a better ratio.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. He's got a bit better ratio compared. And it's actually not that many assists because previous season we've had Ari just completely dominating everyone. Ari had like, I believe 16 assists, so that's twice as much. But then there's been 4 players behind him with 9, I believe. And now this season, nobody has even tied that result. So that goes to show the skill gap developing and the skill overall in the community increasing. So it's harder to just farm the stats, and especially with the teams who disbanded. But that's a chat for another occasion.
So Sarah would probably have more assists if the game against Cuba and Hawata wouldn't be cancelled.
I actually don't know because Sarah wasn't with us then, but he probably played with Fire Warriors.
Yes.
Well, it doesn't matter anymore. We've had the assists, and now we'll be moving on to goals. So we've had those players. We can kind of predict who's going to be for the most goals scored based on it. But as you can see on the screen right now, the 3 top scorers are starting from the bottom. Sarah, again, he's not only a top assistman, he's also a top 3 most scored goals. So that's going to be a bit of league for the best Canadian award. But then right above him, his teammate Ari with 16 goals. And the first place Onser's team member Paredes, who's reached 17 goals and is the top scorer of season 9. And I don't think anyone expected this right at the beginning of the season.
Yes, me either. I didn't expect Paredes to win this classification. I knew that he's able to score more than 10 goals, for example, this season, but I didn't know he can play as well as he did this season. He was kicked from Repete previous season, if I recall correctly. So yeah, that's a very big surprise this season.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can remember Yasmin still complaining about how bad he is, and now Paredes reaching the top 3, having the most goals scored, and Yasmin getting eliminated in quarterfinals. So what a turn from life. But we've had enough of the stats. No, we didn't. We still have the top Canadian. I forgot about that. I was about to move on into the nominees for the main part for the Gala. But right before that, we have to end with the top Canadian, or most points as it's called on this screen. And once again, we have 4 names. And we've got all of them that have been previously mentioned, because obviously most points combines most goals and most assists. So right at the end of the podium, or I don't know if it should be called podium, but based on the graphic it is, Evra with 19 points, making it into the 3rd place. Then right above him, only 1 point difference, is Ari and Paredes tied with 20. So that is unbelievable stats from them, averaging, let's say, 2 goals or assists per game, which is already really high number. And then with a bit of a margin at the top, Sarah with 22 points, and he is awarded as a top Canadian for season 9. And once again, let me compare it to the stat records and top Canadian. This isn't really the most impressive result, like, except for season 4, when we've only had 11, but I believe season 4 had the first league and second league, so there's
they
played
games. 5 games in group stage.
And other than that, it isn't really that impressive. We've had 19 from Jack and Rizzo at the beginning. Then we have Sarah with 22, and other than that, all of the remaining seasons have had better results. So once again, as I said, more teams getting better in defending, and it's not that easy to get those stats high up, and it's going to be hard to compare to previous seasons, such as season 6 with 33 points or season 8 with 38 points. Still unbelievable result. That's like pretty much twice as much as Sarah has got in this season. But still, congrats to Sarah on getting his second award of today's stream. But now, we've all knew these stats, like they are literally available on the doc. We'll be moving on to something you've all been waiting for. 35 people in the stream are excited to see the awards show. So let's start it off with the best fifth man or golden boy. It is the fifth man first. We've had 4 nominees to the Best Fifth Man Award, and this is it. Don't. I'm struggling to name it. This is not the final list, of course. This is just nominees. Ignore the numbers.
Okay.
The standings will be at the end. But as you can see, the nominees are Flash, Quintana, Robinho, and Heike. I also don't really know why is the order such as this. Like at first I thought, oh, maybe it's alphabetical, because then F, K, R, but then there's Heike, so he doesn't fit at all. Like the standings for the end will be different. That's a little leak I'm gonna give you. But without further ado, let's go straight into it. So the 4th place, I actually don't really know how many points they've got, so I'll have to wait until it shows up on the screen. But I know the names, and the 4th place for this award has been given to Rubinho. Oh, it actually displayed on the screen before I said it. I was looking through my DMs. But never mind, we've got there in the end. That's all that matters. So Rubinho, player from Bengal Tigers, who were eliminated in quarterfinals. Is that correct? Yeah, in quarterfinals
Yes.
to HSHL. And Rubinho had a lot of playtime, I would say, because it wasn't really that much of a bench player. He was literally the 5th man, so like they would rotate with Zaku and Xarod a lot. So that's why he ended up here, because he had like a bit less than Zaku. But honestly, if you would put Zaku over Rubinho, it wouldn't really be much controversial as well. But congrats to Rubinho making it to the awards show. I hope you've enjoyed your stay. But now we're gonna move on to the next player. There's still 3 left in the pool. There's Quintana, there's Flash, and there's Heike. But who will be the next one? The 3rd place for the top 5th man award goes to player from Slovakia, and that player is Flash, the streamer himself, who's now broadcasting himself on the screen. Wow, the face review, you could say, except it's not. But Flash has been the 5th man for Repede, and that transfer wasn't expected at first, because when the teams were just signed in, Flash, I believe, I could be wrong here, was a member of Annoying Karma Killers.
I don't know actually.
But that really surprised me, because I think Annoying Karma Killers were in 4th pot, but then he left them really, really early into the season, like maybe even before the season, and then joined Repede. So that was like more expected to happen. And I believe he played when 8 wasn't available, or obviously as a substitute for example, Raketa, because Raketa is not that kind of guy to show up to every match as well. So he was useful for both Yasmin and the whole Repete team. And now he ended up as the 3rd best top 5th man. But now we will be moving on to the winner. We are not announcing the 2nd place. As always, we are going straight for the winner. And the top 5th man, or top bench player, as others like to call it, for the 9th season was indeed Quintana.
Quintana, yes, bravo.
Impossible.
First award for Dolby Surround, some might say. And Quintana, I mean, this is pretty controversial about how was he the bench player, because him winning it, I think, was quite clear for people who knew the nominees. But Pecic was just doing some weird rotations, and Quintana somehow became the bench player. He would also often leave the game when he's seen he was subbed off. And congrats to him for getting the award. And I think we can display all the names now. So congrats to Heike as well for reaching the second place. And you could say it was just like in finals with Dolby beating Golden Eagles, and now we have Quintana beating Heike. And now you can see the points. Quintana with 49, Heike with 31, Flash with 25, and Rubinho with 21. So Quintana with quite a lot of advantage. And then the rest has been somewhat close, but I think the outcome is still pretty much as expected by most of the people. So once again, congrats to all the 4 players that have been nominated, and mainly to Quintana for getting his top bench award for the second time. That is kind of ironic.
Best bench player ever.
So we've had our benchers, and we can go to the new players. We're gonna go to the golden boy, or maybe golden girl, who knows it? We're gonna know in about a second, because these 4 players have been nominated. Actually, it has to be golden boy, because it's only male people, or at least known to me, that identify as male, nominated. And the players who made it onto this list are Nate, Nis, Dolly Prune, and Zaku. Each one of them is from different nation, I've just noticed. And it's really interesting who's gonna win it. So I think we can reveal it, and actually, answer, you can take it and give me a little bit of rest.
Okay, so let's go on with the 4th player. Okay, it is Nate from Italian United. We were actually curious if he played in previous season, but we find out that he didn't compete in previous seasons. I mean, he actually got a good amount of time. Just let me check that. Yes, he played over 70 minutes, scoring 4 goals. I don't know much about his play style, but I think he plays like typical Italian from Italian United, so it's defense, and more defense. Now let's go on with the 3rd one. Okay, it's Dolly Pruna, probably the most hated player in our community. He scored many goals during the group stage. I think everyone in the Western Conference or Eastern, I don't remember, was quite surprised with how how KKK Academy looked like, and he was actually, to be honest, a good scorer. He scored many goals. They won against Repete, against Cheyenne, I'm not sure. And Dolly Pruna was a member of this team. So he actually didn't perform very well against Dolby in quarterfinals. His penalty went straight in the middle, as I remember. But yeah, he's a good striker. Depends on this is his first season. And let's go on to the 1st place, but I think it's quite obvious for everyone who followed this league. And it's of course Nis. I think he has a very great potential. I think his style is quite similar to Ari or Sarah. He's very offensive-tended player. He can create many opportunities, but I'm not sure if Royal used him in a good way. I think he played on DM for some games. I'm not sure.
Nie, he played mid.
Dobra.
Bully our experts.
Most of games mid. Some DM.
Royal was switching a lot with their lineups, and I mean, we can display the results in the meantime. And
Yes.
I was really surprised with them using Nice as mainly midfielder or defender, because when I've seen Nice on Elobot, like in between the seasons or even during season 8, I really thought he would be like, oh, he could be the new top striker. He has such a good puck control and his aim is really on point. He definitely will be like top 5 most goals scored. And then all of a sudden I think he said something like, oh, he doesn't really like playing striker or he doesn't consider himself good, but I think it was the first one. And he decided to go back into the DM spot. But then on the other end, we've had Boppa, who played as striker in season 6, 7, 6, I think. And now he's also a really, really good DM, arguably top of the whole league. But congrats to Nice for winning it by incredibly high margin. Like, literally, I think this is going to be the most points earned from a single player for today's awards with 64. And then right behind the Zach, who is Dolipron, this is what I meant, with only 1 point difference between the second and third place. So this was incredibly close margin, but it still ends up, as you can see, so Nice with 64, Zach with 29, Dolipron 28, and Nate with 11. But now we've had the Golden Boy, and we're gonna go to the big boy, but not to the big boy room on Fire Warriors Discord. We're gonna go to the big boy awards, starting for each position, and then ending up with the cream de la creme, the MVP. But let's start from the back. The top goalkeeper of season 9. We've had about 40 goalkeepers, I think. Let me quickly check based on clean periods. I'm sure there will be someone who's like played 1 period and can see it. But people who have clean period on their name, there's 38 players. And we've got these final 4. So we've got Smoczek, we've got Twoja, we've got Santander, and we have Yasmin. All 4 names are pretty known. 3 of them have been already mentioned for the most clean periods. And surprise, surprise, the 4th player on that clean period list, actually is Centurion, and 5th is Yasmin. I thought Yasmin was right behind. My fault there. But nevertheless, let's go into the awards. And the 4th place for the top goalkeeper, the 4th best goalkeeper of season 9, is by the people who were judging it, Yasmin. So Slovakian goaltender previously has won that award, and now he still made it into the top 4 despite his team going out in quarterfinals. And I don't think he was satisfied with the results both his team and himself has had this season, but he's still not giving up. He's already looking for players for Repete for season 10, and it seems like he never will give up until he makes it to that trophy as a team. He's got those personal awards. Now all he needs is team trophies. But now we'll be going into the top 3 players, and the third best goalkeeper of season 9 is Twoja. Cheyenne Chaichai's goalkeeper has made it into the list. He's had the most clean periods and the most minutes played, but that is not enough to win the best goalie award. But still, congratulations to him. I'm trying to not be biased by any means, and I think I should stop right there with talking about him. And now, the winner of the top goalkeeper award for season 9, the best goaltender is a German player who goes by the name T. Santander. I think it was pretty clear with the 2 players left as well, since we've had a whole league winner against someone who went out in quarterfinals. But still, congrats to Smoczek, who made it into the second. Getting second place while being eliminated in quarterfinals is incredible result. Like, I honestly can't remember anyone who's made it like that. I could be wrong, of course, but congrats to Smoczek. As you can see, just ahead of Twoja, but Santander with a lot of points ahead of him. And Yasmin with 12 points as well, just scrapping around the back. So congrats to all of these players. And we know the best goaltender. And let's go into the best defender now. You can take it.
The best defender. So basically, based on many seasons, it's the most competitive position. It's most difficult to reach this top 4, and this season now there are very good 4 players. We had even more player to consider as the nominee, but these 4 players were very and very good form. Yeah, so even the 4th place or 3rd here is a good achievement. So we can move on to the 4th place. And it's Kiki Musampa, who played very well through the whole season, the Golden Eagles defender, who actually had also good stats. Let me look on it, because I don't remember. He probably scored 2 goals and had 4 assists, which basically in top Canadian classification had a digit of 6, which is very good as a defender. Golden Eagles played very well through, especially through the playoff stage, winning against Royal or losing to Cheyenne with a very tight match. So yeah, Kiki Musampa had to play very well to achieve that. We can actually move on to the 3rd place. And it's Schlieri, the golden boy from previous season, a Dolby member, which is privately my MVP of the season for Dolby. He played very well throughout the whole season, even if he was a bencher and in a few games when he didn't play full time, he always performed without any mistakes. And additionally, he win the top assistant classification, which is very impressive to achieve as a defender, because if I remember correctly, this classification was won by me in season 4, when it was the last time when defender won that. So yeah, Schlieri is a very good player and can fight for a win in World Cup. And let's check who will be the winner of the HSHL Season 9 award for Top Dev. Okay, and it's Boppa. It's Boppa from Fire Warriors. I think we should also give a credit to our commentator Sportman too, because it was a very good season for him and for Boppa. If the final 10 in the other way, if Cheyenne would win that, I think Sporto would win this trophy. But Boppa, as long as he was the only shooter to score the penalty in the first game, and performed also very well, except for the second game. But actually, I don't think that the goals conceded by Fire Warriors were his faults. He played very, very well. He stopped the HSHL offense, which was very, very incredible this season. And Sportman, very, very good player.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Very, very good player, of course. Sportman, do you
But
want to say
Pogba
something
bad.
about this season?
I mean, I think I played well, but at the same time, if I talk to anyone, I've talked to like 5 people about the awards show. I've said Boppa will probably win it, and I'm not mad about it at all. Like, he's had incredible season. And a little fun stat: Boppa is officially the first defender who's not Polish to win this award. So this was the only category that had all Polish players winning it, but now it has changed. And it is deserved. I'm really surprised about the gap being so small. Like, I expected myself to be second with quite a bit of advantage, but at the same time, not this close to him. And I think I would agree with you about saying that the final decided about, like, if Cheyenne has won the final, it would probably be the other way around. But nevertheless, congrats to him, and maybe good luck for future awards. I'm not gonna say much, but I'm just gonna wink and move on to the next position. And the next
Bravo,
one
Pogba.
is midfielder. We've had Pogba winning the defender, but now we'll go to the midfield with Sroy, Evra, Sara, and Maestro nominated. We've got 4 players. Once again, 3 of them. No, actually, last time we've had all from semi-finalists, and now we have Evra, who lost in quarterfinal. Maybe in World Cup, France will make it further, or will Evra's curse still exist? We'll have to wait and see. And World Cup, I believe, is starting next week, and
Yes, the World Cup is starting next weekend, but
here's a little plug. Make sure to subscribe to this channel and preview of each teams that will be coming soon. I thought you wanted to say something. I guess not. So we'll go to
let's
the
move
midfield.
on.
And out of these 4 players, the one that will pop up on your screen first, the 4th place, the 4th best midfielder, I should say, of season 9 is a Serbian player who's been loyal to his club for quite a long time, and it is Maestro. So I can't remember him getting any sort of nominee, at least since I've played or since I've paid attention to the league. And I know he's a member of this community for quite a long time. So it is good to see him back on the high level performances, making it into the top midfielder award. And still, if you would look at it and be like, oh, 4th place, it's such a sad result. But then if you would put it compared to the rest of the league, you are the 4th best on your position from about 40 players. Like, it's harder to judge midfielders compared to GKs where we just have the clean period stat. But I'm pretty sure there's going to be like 40 players who have at least played once their game as a midfielder. But enough said about Maestro. We're gonna go to the 3rd place. And there's still 3 players in the pool. There's Sara, there's Evra, there's Troy. And the 3rd best midfielder of season 9 is a player who went out in quarterfinals, and it is Evra. So congrats to the Frenchman. I think this might be his 2nd time in a row being 3rd best midfielder. Same as last season? No, I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure
I
everyone's
don't
in the
remember
chat.
either.
I know he was nominated, but like on the Hall of Fame, we only have the winners, so I can't really check that quickly. I need to watch the video from previous season. But he's consistent, and he has been playing really good ever since he joined the league since season 7. But now it's just about making that step further, or maybe not choking under pressure, you could say. So finally, his teams would make it further than quarterfinals, and he would get better personal awards from that as well. But enough said about our French bot. We have to move on to the winner of the season 9 awards for the top midfielder. There's 2 players left, and the winner's name starts with an S. That's all you know right now, and I'll let you know more about it, because the winner, the first winner, that is Polish, and it is Sara. The transfer from Fire Warriors to Cheyenne Chaichaish. And you could say it paid off because he's won the top
Korupcja.
midfielder. But
Korupcja.
in the end, the most people were memeing about him leaving the champions to join Cheyenne and losing the final. But he still has had
Karma.
arguably best personal season. He's had most assists tied. He's been the top Canadian, having the most points from combined goals and assists. He's earned himself finally a call up for Poland A. He's been in Pool B since forever, and for this World Cup, he's finally in Poland A. What do you think about that bully, huh? Yeah, exactly. So, congrats to both Troy and Sarah. The difference was really small in between them as well. As you can see, only 6 points difference, which I think is the smallest gap we've had in between the first and second. And it is deserved. Troy has had a really good season as well. And I think it's mainly judged like that because he wasn't the kind of star player in the Fire Warriors. I could be wrong here, of course. This is just my personal opinion. But the second place for him is really deserved. And he's also not really playing quite long here. So I'm sure he is able to develop even more and maybe win it in next season. But we've had the goaltender, we've had defender, we've had midfielder, and now we're gonna have answer talking about forwards.
About the forwards, and I think that this is the first season when Jekan is not nominated to this award.
Is really possible.
It is really possible because last season he was also nominated. So yeah, I'm sure that that's the first season without him. We have Paredes, Ari Madness, and Xnaf. So it's a top 4 league. Every of the best teams had has their striker as a nominee. And let's see who's the fourth one. And it's Madness from Golden Eagles. So basically, it's same as the top defender award. Also, the Golden Eagles player will reach the 4th place. Madness played really well. I think it was the key player of the Golden Eagles. Going through the every game of Golden Eagles, I think he had also most minutes played before the final, and then the Cheyenne players and Fire Warriors overtook him. So it was very impressive as long as he played every single minute in this season. He didn't score so many goals as I remember, but he gives very many things in offense. He's very good player when in this Golden Eagle style, and they need him very much. So let's move on to the 3rd place. And it's Paredes, the best scorer, and as we said before, one of the best, the most improved players through the whole seasons. I'm very satisfied because from a game to game he played better, and he scored 4 goals in last game against Golden Eagles, allowing us to reach the 3rd place. He scored a goal in semi-final. He scored a goal in quarterfinal. So he was a very solid through the whole season, and I think it is a deserved spot for Paredes. But let's move on to the first place and see who was the best striker of current season. And the award goes to Ixnaf. I'm actually quite surprised by that, but let's see how many points of advantage he had. But let's say Ixnaf, okay, it's 4 points, so I think the smallest advantage between the top two. I'm not sure, but yeah, Ixnaf played also a solid season, but he did a trip from Cheyenne to Fire Royals that Sarah did in underway. He didn't play well in final as long as he had problems with ping. But he told me that he scored a goal in every playoff game except for the first game of final and second game of final. But also we have Ari on second place, who gave incredible digits this season, incredible stats, scoring 20 points in Canadian classification. And he shows that every season. He's a very solid player and one of the best offensive players, if not the best one in our league. So I think he may feel a bit unsatisfied because of that second place. But both of these players were incredibly good this season. Sporto, do you want to add something more?
The differences between first and second are getting smaller with every position, because we've had the GK where there was like about 20 points difference. Then for the defender, there's been 8 points. For midfielder, we've had 6, and now we have 4. So I'm really looking forward to the MVP awards whenever it will be as tight as those previous ones. And then once again, the third and fourth place seem to be pretty clear. So congrats to Xnaf for winning the top striker award again, and Ari being just behind him with 43 points. And again, I'm gonna sound biased a lot right now, and I know this will be like memed, but my thoughts right now will be comparing Ari. Obviously, this is going to be such a bad comparison. Someone playing hockey on Hacksball to football players, but like the standards for Ari could be like comparable to Messi and Ronaldo, because he's been on the top level for so long, and he's always been up there whenever he was defender, midfielder, striker. And then every time expectations for him compared to other players are just so much higher. So when he's been playing on, let's say, same level as the other 3 strikers that have been nominated, all of a sudden people start to rate him lower because of the past experience. And I'm kind of surprised to see him being second, if I'm honest. But like, obviously, this has been judged not only by like 3 people. There's been like, I believe, over 20 people who judged it. So I'm sure this is a fair decision. And congrats to Xnaf for winning it, especially with a low margin. I know this is satisfying when you are just ahead of your opponent. And Xnaf previously has also won it with a really low margin against Raizo, I believe, where it was really tight for the striker. And then the Raizo, who was second as the top striker, has won the MVP award, which is the first time in history where MVP has been won by someone who didn't win their own position. But enough of me talking a lot about things that don't matter anymore. Let's move on to the grand finale, the thing that everyone has been watching the stream for the previous 15 minutes. And I've promised to get this under 1 hour, and I'm gonna make it. So MVP, I don't think the nominees have been published, so now you get to see them finally, the top 4 players as selected. There's also been quite a lot of argue, because at first, if you got to vote, you know that at first when Xnaf sent you the vote piles, he said something like, "Oh, MVP is not here yet. I'll send you MVP as soon as we decide them." So it's definitely been a lot of talking over that. And the nominees are Sarah, Boppa, Sportman, and Santander. Yeah, you can tell us more about the answer actually, unless you don't want to.
Yeah, that's very different.
But it's up to you, I guess.
We discussed much about the 4th nominee.
So
There were
based
3
on that,
clear players here.
based on that, most likely that 4th nominee will get the 4th place. And
we will see.
I guess we'll never let the public know who was it, because maybe there's a surprise. Maybe people voting thought differently. And then I could mention that out of all of these 4 nominees, 3 of them have won their award for the best player. And I wonder who is the 4th one. But nevertheless, I think we can take turns on this. So if you don't mind, I will start with the 4th place for the MVP award. And that goes to Challenge player who is known as Sarah. So after getting most points and having his arguably best season on hockey, he made it to the MVP awards, and he ended up as the 4th best player this season. So congrats to him, and we'll see if he'll be able to stop transferring through clubs in the upcoming seasons, because from what I know, he wants to continue this hockey journey. And now you can take this answer.
Okay, the 3rd place goes to Sportoman. So again, the player of HSHL, very good performance through the whole season. And I will repeat myself, but I think if Cheyenne would turn this final by their side, they would be upper in classification of MVP. But as long as they lost that, they can't win the MVP. It's only about the final, because I can't judge either Sportoman or Boppa was a better player through the whole season. But yeah, the decision to choose either which player was a better one, it's difficult. Yeah, so actually I think the results are based on how the final looked like and who won the whole season.
We've had that discussion for like at least 3 last seasons. When I wasn't around when Crack won the MVP award, but from what I've heard, he's had like alright season, and then on the finals he's had performance of his life, and he ended up being the first and only until the season, or maybe still, who knows, you're gonna find out soon, but he was or is the only goaltender that has won the MVP award. And from what I've heard, once again, this has been mainly by the final, so it really lets you know about how important the final is for the awards show. The difference is that for this season, there's not been that many people eligible to vote, I think, compared to the past. So it should have less, yeah, that's the correct one, less effect, but it still will be clear as day. And it might seem like I'm defending myself, so let me just point it out. I am surprised to see myself this high up. Like, I don't think I was MVP of Cheyenne, and as you know, there's only Fire Warriors members left for this award. So I am surprised to see myself up there, but I wasn't the one who was making those results. I'm only here to read them to you. And let me go back to my job then and reading those final results. Who's gonna win the MVP award? There's 2 players left. There is Boppa and there is Santander. They've been mentioned all in their previous categories. They've won them both. but the main winner, the MVP of Season 9 is, as predicted in the chat by Vivirian Xarot, Boppa, so the Czech player who joined in Season 6, also known as French Manchester United midfielder, shout out to Matt, has won the MVP award and is now the best player, at least until Season 10, because there's no awards show for the World Cup. Like, obviously you can argue about it, but like, he literally can show you this screen has he won it with 45 points. Again, not the biggest margin, 6 points ahead of Santander. So we gotta give some credit to the German goaltender as well, who's won the top GK for the third time. So he's now leading in that statistic, but he didn't get that MVP at least yet. He's been just behind the Czech DMC. And then, as you can see, there's myself, Sportman, with 23 points, and Sarah with 7 in the end as well. So that really concludes our awards show. I don't think Flash has anything else to show, and if you do, Flash, then do it right now, but I think this is all the screens you've had. So we've managed to get this under 1 hour. Do you have any final words on here?
No.
What about you, Bully?
I think
this. This is the Easter egg we've all been waiting for. So we've got Sus giving those flowers and congratulations, and I'm gonna give the congrats as well to every player that has been mentioned throughout Gala. Like, when you are already mentioned, this is an achievement. Like, not even winning it can, I mean, obviously winning it is a much bigger one, but if you are just mentioned as a nominee, it's already a really, really big achievement for you. And if you didn't make it, then what are you doing in the stream? Go into the Elo lobby, practice, and make sure you'll get into the awards show for Season 10. But obviously, before Season 10, we've got the World Cup. Once again, the final plug. There's still 30 people watching. Stay tuned. Let's just this time say to the announcement channel on the Discord, because I'm sure the link will be posted there. And to all the captains, remember to tell your players to confirm, because you've got about 27 hours left to do so. And if you don't do it by the deadline, your lineup will be locked. And like, for example, there's still 16s, I believe, that didn't meet the requirements for the enough of players in the lineup. So make sure you get to do it. And I think this is enough said. Unless I forgot about something, then Snap can let me know in DMs if there's anything else I should advertise right now. Obviously, the team's preview, that's going to be in the near future. My guess would be it's going to happen on like Wednesday or Tuesday. I could be wrong, obviously. And yeah, this is pretty much it. It's been fun doing this commentary, but you can clearly hear from my voice that I have not commentated enough games. And
this
hopefully...
is the last day without Handbaliczyk.
Oh, yes, as well.
Guys,
Let's
we need to
give
announce
a
that.
round of applause for this whole 2 months without Handbaliczyk. This has been the most fun I have had on HSHL. It's going to be sad to see him back. And is there anything else? Snap is not DMing me at all. So I think we can end this here. Thank you to Sus this time for making those graphics, and especially the final graphic, which is just beautiful. And this has been Sportman. I was joined by Onser.
Bye-bye.
And by the special guest, Bully.
bye.
See you soon for the upcoming World Cup.